Greetings, family and friends. Greetings, comrades. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Rebirth of Africa Movement channel, where we believe that the 21st century is an African century. And in this century, Africa will lead the world. But it won't be as easy as that. Effort must be done. One of the things which need to be done if Africa is going to rise, one of the things which need to be done is to break systems that were put in place to keep Africa in bondage. I think we all know that the Africa which we have today is a result of the 1886 conference in Geneva, which was chaired by Bismarck. A conference which talked about the scramble of Africa, and unfortunately, no African was invited to decide the destiny of Africa. Now we are here as sons and daughters of Africa, and we say we are here to decide the destiny of our continent. Those systems, like the systems which were put in place by Bismarck, Cecil John Rhodes, and many others, must be broken before Africa can be free. What does this mean? It means that Africa must start to think on her own and discard foreign ideology. We can learn something from Jesus Christ, the Son of God, in the book of Mark when he said, "And no one pours new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the wineskins will be ruined." Africa is a land that has been flooded with different ideas from different people. Some of these ideas were willingly adopted, while some were imposed upon her. An influx of ideas is good, but Africans have the sole right to decide which ideas are beneficial to them and which one to discard. Upon attainment of independence, Africa was pushed into deals which ensured that she accepts democracy, capitalism, and other systems. After a bitter struggle, the colonizers pushed for a dialogue, and in most of these dialogues, they had the upper hand. It is on record that during the Lancaster House Conference in 1979, the black nationalists from Zimbabwe were unhappy and tried to walk out. Unfortunately, circumstances forced them to accept a settlement which they didn't like. Similarly, many South African black nationalists were unhappy concerning the way the Boers were discussing freedom deals with Mandela, but in the end, they had to comply. Decades after adoption of capitalism and democracy, there is no doubt that this twin system has failed Africa. The accelerated suffering in Africa is a testament that the system has failed. One might argue that the post-colonial rot in Africa is a result of incompetent leaders. And while this is partially true, it is worth noting that post-colonialism is an extension program of the colonialists, and many leaders, post-colonial leaders, are just puppets of the former colonizers. The incompetence of post-colonial leaders and the hypocritical attitude of Western nations, the so-called champions of democracy and capitalism, is prompting some Africans to embrace socialism and capitalism. They are inspired by nations such as Russia and China. There is a high probability that in the next 20 years, Africa will witness a radical shift to socialism, while those who are advocating for this shift may have a genuine passion for Africa. It is crucial to ask ourselves if this move will help Africa. The most important thing to ascertain is whether socialism will work for Africa. Africa cannot risk to waste another 50 years on an ideology which will not work. Communism is an ideology which was conceptualized by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in the 19th century and was based in a European context and was relevant to Europe at that time of conception. Is it practical to adopt this 19th century ideology? Will a paste and copy method work for Africa? What constitutes a good ideology? Which yardstick is used to judge a good ideology? What has made capitalism to be less desirable in Africa is its inability to help the masses of Africa. It has created classes and fostered divisions among the people of Africa. While it may be argued that capitalism gives equal opportunity to everyone, in Africa the rich become richer and the poor poorer. Yes, it worked for Europe. Let us assume that it works. But why should it be enforced on Africa if it is not working for Africa? Why are those countries which decided to move away from capitalism vilified and isolated? Where are the African academics, thinkers, philosophers, leaders, and priests? Why is no one coming up with a better idea to help Mother Africa? What is the mind of God concerning Africa? Why is God silent about this vast continent? Is it the plan of God to see a few billionaires rising out of Africa while the masses are wallowing in deep poverty? Does it make sense to see a country with good agricultural soil unable to feed its population?